All right, guys, welcome back to the Raised Hunting Podcast. We're glad you're with us this week. I am David Holder of Raised Hunting, and I'm joined today by two butt necks, Warren and Easton Holder. That would be in perspective order of when they were born, Warren and then Easton. So
not my favorite.
It just depends on the day. I'll start off by apologizing because I have a feeling that today is going to need it. So just so you guys know, I apologize for anything that might be said on this podcast or done between these two because it's typical. But anyhow, we got a good podcast for you today because it is hunting season. And not only is it hunting season, we're actually getting to like the good stuff, you know. But before we get too far along, I'm going to point out Raised Canine, Raised Nocks, Raised Scents. Go to the Raised Hunting website, click on whichever one you're looking for. We got lots of stuff. You guys already know that are listening to the podcast, that it's there. But for those of you that are brand new, we have several different products to offer you guys. So take a look, see what you can come up with, or check out our YouTube page and see all the different videos that we put out there and social media. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Warren, who's going to do quick shout out. I think we've determined that we've now got enough comments that he can't read them all. And then we got Easton has got story or two.
0 today.
None today? Okay.
What?
Well, I have one. I just didn't print it off.
Because there's more than one. Because maybe they're coming directly to me.
You need to tell them to go through the website, otherwise I won't ever get it.
Yeah. Well, I should bring it. Sorry.
Well, no, you need to send it through the, or you go submit it for them.
That ain't happening.
So first off here, I just want to say something, and this is straight to all of you viewers. I love you all, but I also hate some of you.
Oh, I knew there's a but coming.
Apparently, I am the only person, including you guys, that hasn't found a freaking 80. Mm-hmm. I've had another at least 10
Did
messages.
Did you say excluding us? I haven't found an 80.
That's what I just said.
Okay, I thought you said including us.
At least another 10 people just like saying, just sending me, Tom Buckroyd's like, oh, I've been meaning to send you this. Here's an 80. And then Jake Kirk sends me one, and he's like, found this one driving down the road. It's like 86.
Nick, will you go grab us some fly swatter?
I mean, just 80s everywhere.
I will say, you guys are lacking on my side. They were sending me 1 or 2 a day to show you, and I haven't gotten any in a couple days.
Oh, they're just sending them right to me. I've had at least 10 in the last week.
I love
of
it.
people sending me pictures of their
Keep
their
it up.
80s.
Don't slow down.
I told Jake is what I'm going to do, and I can't decide if it's a great idea or an absolutely terrible idea. Is I'm going to take all of them. They're all going to go shed hunting them, put them all in the truck, just to have their juju. But I'm gonna tie them all up so that they can't, because they're all going to find one, and I won't. But I just need their juju, and so I'm just going to bring them and drag them around with me. Anyways, we'll do Apple today, and I'll see if there's a few YouTube ones we can hit. But there's quite a few reviews on Apple, so appreciate you guys on Apple. Hunter Keller 0, I believe is what that's supposed to say. He says, we all appreciate you. Same to you, brother. He says, I've been listening to you guys for about 3 weeks, give or take now, and I have listened to you guys every day, all day at work. Welcome to the Rays family. He says, I'm sure I speak for everyone that listens to you guys and appreciate the stories and the family matter of what you guys do. We see your hard work and dedication to this amazing sport and lifestyle. There aren't too many Midwest hunting podcasts as thorough and opinionated as this one. I'm 25, born and raised in Wisconsin, been hunting only since I was 20. Good for you. But the more I listen to you guys, the more I learn. And in the video you guys posted on TikTok on 10-1 was badass. Good job, Nick.
Nice.
Love for Nick. Thank you for all you guys do, and watch out for those black pines. God bless and shoot straight.
I had another one, dude.
Oh, yeah, that shows up just randomly anywhere.
See, all of our listeners apparently are immature, too, because that is funny.
Well, we're all dudes.
John Armin. Here's a shout out
us.
to John Armin. You know, he's all out there wishing he could find a black pine. Number 1 podcast, says Matt Nawa. Love the podcast. Been binge listening to it while at work, catching up from day one. Helped me learn so much to put towards hunting and scents. 27 TCJ. Feels like it should be a G because it rhymes with C. But it's TCJ. Early October hunts. Long-time listener. Glad the best time of the year is back. I've rode in a few times last year, but I haven't this year. Slow start to the season in central Wisconsin farmland, lots of does around us. However, a buck I called Murph, I thought vanished last year, has reappeared. Game on for him. I look forward to each week to listen to stories from other hunters and what you guys have to say on your seasons. Hopefully, I'll have a story about Murph this season to share. We hope you do too, buddy. Info for days. Trusty Dusty. It's a good one. These guys drop some of the best info regarding anything to do with a whitetail. You can take it to the bank. And if you apply any of their tips to your own properties or permission pieces, your hunting experience will go up. Thanks for all you guys do for the hunting space. Keep it up. Dustin Cole. Appreciate you, buddy. I mean, we're just sharing our experiences. Best Outdoor Podcast, Wayne Savoy. I listen to y'all every day talking about what y'all have learned as hunters and use it to help me in the woods, and I use your sense. I can't wait till the rut starts. Keep up the good work. Appreciate all of you guys. I hope everybody does truly understand how much we appreciate them, because the podcast is one of my favorite things of what we do. Not really talking to you, but talking with Easton and the audience.
He likes talking to his brother. That was a good one.
It's because
nice. I'll take that.
We're always called butt necks or whatever else just
true.
to start. So we got to give them a little bit back.
I want them to start sending their stories in
YouTube
via
guys,
snail mail.
YouTube guys and Spotify guys, you know we love you, but we're gonna skip it for now so that we can get rolling on things.
All right.
Why do you want them to send it in via snail
Because I'm
mail?
going to compile them all. If they're all written by them personally, I'm going to put them all in a big binder for every raised hunting podcast story ever sent in.
Yeah.
And it would look really cool if especially there's handwritten ones.
Right.
It'd be neat.
Kind of like when you go to, have you guys ever been to a hunting camp where they have a notebook there that everyone that's hunted there signs it?
Yeah. It would be like that, but I would want to have everybody's stories.
The squirrel hunt place.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the most iconic. We did a podcast there.
Yeah.
Where you walk through the through the halls and Stone Cold Steve Austin and
there's so
Barry.
many.
Was it Barry Sanders?
Barry Sanders, I think.
Barry Sanders. All these super famous.
Well,
Jackson.
a lot of them that you guys don't
Bo
even
Jackson,
know.
that's what I was thinking.
Because what was the comedian's name? Was a big one.
Jeff Foxworthy.
No, big. He was bigger than. Gosh, dang it! Why can I not think of his?
Larry the Cable Guy.
No, before that, I'll think of it in the middle of the podcast, and then I'll shout it out.
Onwards, donkey.
But no, I mean, some as simple as I hunted a George Cook when we lived in Montana, had just a cabin. And you went to that cabin not expecting no celebrities, only slept 4 or 5 people. It was only 16 by 16, I think. But you go in there and here's this big book, and everyone who's been there had signed what they were doing there, whether it was in the summer, whether they were hunting, they saw a wolf, before wolves were supposedly there, they had a grizzly bear on the porch. I mean, you could just sit there and start flipping through, and it was all handwritten.
That's what I want. Have everybody handwrite them in and send them in.
We should try to get Stone Cold on here.
The real Stone Cold or our Stone Cold?
No, the real Stone Cold. He's a big hunter.
Yeah. Okay, we'll call him. Well, we do have. I'll throw him out there because I think if we want to do it, we just need to make the decision. Maybe we'll hear from some. It would be too late. But we talked to Mark Drury the other day, and he was willing to come on, and we'll talk a little bit about moon phases and stuff next week.
Come on the podcast.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
So just so you guys that are listening, by the time you listen to this, we may be sitting down with Mark. Good guy. Spent some time with Easton and I, and went over quite a bit of stuff. I talked
to him too.
Yeah.
I thought I was anal about hunting. He puts me to shame.
Yeah. In all honesty, whether you want to believe in moon phases or not, the man has compiled so much information on his deer.
Yeah.
As far as 2007. He has every trail camera picture of any buck, no matter what size, that he's compiled and put it all in all these spreadsheets and stuff.
By weather.
Yeah.
He went back and did it by weather and by moon phase from 2007 to now.
He had to make Drury Outdoors work because that's a full-time job.
Yeah. I asked him what program he used. He said, I manually did all that. I was like, oh my gosh, that had to take for freaking ever. But
good for him. It's dedicated.
Yeah, for
Loves
sure.
it if you're doing that.
Yeah. No, I mean, and the cool thing is, I can speak for first time I met Mark was 1997 or 98, I believe, in Searcy, Arkansas. And that was before he did have Drury game call. I think Mad Calls had just come out or was coming out. Mark, one of his first claims to fame, if not the first, I would have to ask him, was Mark Allen Drury, stood for Mad Calls. He came out with his own, and what gave him his name is he was a world champion natural voice caller, turkey caller. Unbelievable. I mean, he is freaking good. But anyhow, long story short is the Ozark Arms was the name of the little place where I lived in Arkansas. At the time, it was a mom and pop gun / bow shop. And David Oliver worked there. Me and him were talking, and he was like, man, I'd like to put on like a little banquet. Maybe I could call these guys. And they had 2 or 3 VHS videos that had come out, bottlenecks and bedding areas, and right place at the right time. And it was Don Kiske and Mark Drury, Terry Drury, and Jay Gregory, and they had built this video, or these couple videos. And so they hauled the deer that were on the video up there and put them up on the stage. So every time they would play a video, then they could point to the deer that was on the stage, and then they talked more in depth about it. It was a cool deal.
They're one of those people too. I think a few podcasts ago, we dogged on the outdoor industry a little bit in some aspects, but like some of those people are one of the best parts about it. Like, he is a super genuine, great guy. Super
100%.
nice dude. Jim Shockey.
The Lindsays are freaking fun.
Lindsays are good guys.
Michael
Working class bow hunter.
Michael
good guys.
Waddell's another one. I mean,
T-Bone. Yeah.
There's nothing fake about those. What you see is what you get.
Good folks.
Yep.
Shockey might be
Shockey,
one of the most intriguing, respectable people I've ever met.
Yeah, he's an
You just shake
incredible
his hand.
dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's cool.
Very cool. All right. Well, we should start talking a little bit about whitetail deer hunting today, because we want to bring people up to speed on where we're at, what's going on, and let you know what the next phase that we're going into, what we're going to be doing. So today marks the full moon. Today is the actual 17th.
Well, should we talk about the opposite of incredible dudes real quick?
Oh, yeah, we should.
We can do
Let's
that.
talk about some pieces of shit.
Oh, yeah. And this one is, I will say,
God, that's some.
Piece
I think
of
it's pretty
shit.
embarrassing for quite a few of the hunting community.
I don't know. All I know is I'm super glad that however, I will say I did enough information and dug enough that I was quite confident that I wasn't going to be making an apology anyways. But I am very thankful that I don't have to apologize, because this piece of shit could get caught. I said it very at the beginning of this thing. I wish I could remember. I needed to go back and find that episode and see what all I said. But I mean,
You just basically said he's guilty and I'm done, and that's all there is to it. And
okay, well,
I
so
don't,
if
I don't
everybody
think
listening,
anyone argued with the fact that we felt like he was guilty. My whole thing was we needed to let due process happen. I think that the bigger hat goes off. In my opinion, I haven't seen what they're charging him with, and then that will be the final thing, is the DNR in Ohio. Because they have so much information. They did it so correctly to make sure that there's no doubt in your mind that this guy poached that deer.
So if you haven't heard about this, to bring you up to speed, there was a gigantic deer, like 239 or something. It was
Potentially one of the Ohio
State
State
record.
records.
I thought it
typical,
was the
potentially Ohio State record typical, potentially top 3 all-time typical, that was killed in Ohio last year in November. The guy went on a whole bunch of podcasts, and then there was allegations, saying that he poached it and stuff. And then if you listen to his story, it was quite evident to me that he'd poached it. Yeah. And however, there was a ton of people, defending him. From, like, he was able to sell them somehow on these podcasts that he was a good guy and a genuine dude and didn't do anything wrong. And I said on our podcast
He's the biggest BSer.
that he was full of shit and an absolute liar, and none of his story made any sense. And then I also put out a short that tons and tons and tons of people, which probably aren't our listeners, all were giving me tons of crap. You shouldn't be making that judgment and stuff, because I said, is the fine enough? Or should he get jail time?
See, I think he should get jail time after I listened to some of the stuff that Easton read off to me, the evidence that they had.
Well, let's get into that. Let's go over how it went first, and then I do think that we should talk about what we all feel like a proper punishment it should be for this. So, anyways, part of the things that to me made it, and I don't jump to conclusions, okay? The things that made this unbelievably evident to me was, one, first thing that he started claiming was the deer was 10 miles away, if you remember that. Then he started claiming that he shot it on his sister's property that he said was 30 acres. ends up being 9 acres. And people sent me the OnX pin. And his story is that he shot it the night before. Deer circles back, dies by the pond. If you look at the aerial of this property, you could see the sun from the kitchen window.
You got to filter, brother.
You could see the son of a gun from the kitchen window. Like, it was very evident that there's no way that happened. Then he also stated that he stated on the Hunter podcast that he wouldn't sell the deer for $400,000.
That it was never
Don't
about
quote
money.
me. I don't know if that was the exact number. I believe it was, though, that he wouldn't sell it for $400,000. Turns around the next week,
So
sells it for
$30,000 or
$20,000.
$20,000. Yeah.
And then he also finds it at 10 a.m., 240-inch deer, doesn't take a single photo until night. That was the other thing for me that was like, no way.
No, and then the other
Doesn't have his
there was
phone.
another one in there, and that was that he didn't even have a bow.
Yeah,
it
borrows
wasn't a crossbow from someone that day, and then goes hunt, or the day before, and then goes hunting.
Yes. And so borrows the crossbow from somebody else, then goes hunting, supposedly gets really fortunate and kills it on this.
He didn't get fortunate. He's trespassing the whole time.
Yeah, I'm saying supposedly
that's what
his story was that
Yes.
he got really fortunate and kills it on a
9-acre piece.
10, which he was saying was 30 acres. And so there was just so many holes in this story that did not make any sense. But I think the reason, and to, I guess, give everybody else a little bit of benefit of the doubt, I think they wanted it, and I did too, honestly. They wanted the average dude that doesn't have the ability to manage thousands of acres and huge properties to have a big win.
Yep.
Right?
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for that guy too.
Well, and that's more so why it makes me so mad, because he stole that opportunity from those kinds of guys. Yep. Maybe there was a big property there or something that somebody else owned, but I don't know that. I would assume there's probably maybe a few guys that were able to hunt this deer that he took that opportunity from, and they'll never, ever have that again because it's a once-in-a-lifetime deer. So he ended up, are you going to go over the convictions?
Yeah, there's a lot.
14.
Yeah, that's just the beginning of it, though. He pled guilty to over a dozen criminal charges. They have all kinds of, they got all kinds of stuff.
Well, he
on this
tampered
dude.
with evidence. He
C.J. Alexander
perjured himself.
Pled guilty in Clinton court to 14 criminal charges for poaching one of the biggest whitetails in Ohio and fabricating an elaborate story to cover it up.
So he
got
took the deer from wherever, then took it to his sisters.
He was indicted on 23 criminal charges for allegedly poaching the buck, which was also, so this says the third largest all-time typical whitetail in the Boone and Crockett record book before it was confiscated.
There was multiple things of data showing that he, from his Snapchat location on his phone, showing he was on the wrong
the other
properties.
thing that Easton read to me was lots of comments of him talking to his girlfriend. And his girlfriend was really concerned. She's like, I don't know if you should be in there. And he's like, I'll be okay. I'm in camouflage. No one knows I'm here.
Yeah, you should read those because this is kind of funny.
Oh, I was like, dude, are you serious? So this is a text from him to his girlfriend. I'm going to get offered stupid money for this deer head, babe. Like buying house type money. This deer is going to make us money. That's what he texted his girlfriend. She had other text. There's tons of other texts. She was asking him too. There's more right here somewhere. Oh, she was worried about him getting caught, and his answer is, I'm in all camo and I'm pretty sneaky. That's the text he sends her about it.
Jail
They
time.
have all kinds of stuff.
Jail time.
This was premeditated. This wasn't
This
even
is this is like theft at it. You can't put a dollar figure on a
Let
deer.
me make it worse for you, okay? Let me make it worse. Because one, at the same time that this whole case is going on, he keeps going on other podcasts.
Right, claiming that he killed it legally and everything.
Saying that they're lying and all this other stuff. So if you go to this dude's Instagram, which this what really sucks is I didn't go and seek out his Instagram. He managed to make it into my Discover on Instagram, which is so stupid that this kid gets any kind of a platform at all. So on the last picture of the deer, well, I guess it's 2 pictures ago, January 11th photo, the picture of him and the deer at night, because he poached it and shot it illegally. Matthew 7:5.
Oh, he puts a
Hypocrite.
scripture.
First get rid of the log in your own eye. Then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye.
Holy crap. He's going to hell. Well, that's not really my place, but
wow.
How can you use the Bible to refer to something that you did wrong?
Here's another one. The more I reflect on this, the more I think that this will never sink in. I will forever be humbled by this. Everyone who reaches out, I appreciate you. Those simple things mean the most. Those that are close, I thank you for having my back and being there for me. # glory to God. Okay, wow. And then you have his little description is refuse to be outworked, refuse to settle for mediocrity, and always live it like it's your last day.
Or just cheat everyone else to get to where you want to go.
Which is the slammer, is where you should go, because you're a royal POS. Now, since it somehow managed to come up on my frickin' Instagram, which was just terrible because it ruined my night, the other night, he had on his story, he posted things on his story. So the first one said, in quotes, spotlighting or jacklighting. That being said, I'll be doing a video of the real story eventually with the discovery and my phone with all the facts and them to be shown. Then the next one is also to the We Are Hunter guys publicly. I apologize for coming on the show with a fake story, and to all the people who followed and believed the original story I made a mistake and the wrong move, and will come out with the true story because that's what's deserved for the deer and for closure. I never had ill intent, people with these.
Are you freaking kidding me, dude?
People with these cut-up texts to misinform everyone will be shown and displayed, but regardless, I shouldn't have told the story I told, so for that, I'm sorry. That being said, those memories will still forever be close to my heart and will be a hard lesson, but doesn't define me. You can't write either. Much love, and I'll be back someday and show there's no such thing as a loser, only a lesson better than ever. Much love for all the good people who care to actually be decent people and reach out and have a conversation. Thank you. Nothing but love.
He's an ultimate
and then
he's still looking for he's still looking to make he's still looking to make money off the whole deal.
And so then
like the person who goes to prison and writes a book.
The last one is he's got a text. I'm sorry I got you. So he sent this to somebody, I think. I'm sorry I got you into this. I never in a million years would have thought it was going to blow up like that or be what it ended up being.
That's to his girlfriend.
I handled it wrong, and I'm truly sorry, sis.
To his sister.
Maybe. You didn't deserve that. I was just thinking about it and wanted to message you. I love you. Thank you for always loving me even when I make it hard. You've never abandoned me even when we have butted heads, and it means a lot to me. And then he says on that, until you know me, don't speak on me. Well, CJ, I'm going to speak on you. You're a grade A piece of shit. And I'll say it to your face. If I can ever find you, I'd happily do that. I'll knock out the three teeth you have left. Until you know me, don't speak on me. We're all human. We all make mistakes. The difference is if they're brought to light or not.
Oh, yeah. So as long as you don't get caught, you're a good dude. I don't really care.
I agree with that 110%. Now is what he's doing is he's looking to try to pivot it and freaking make money again.
Off of it. So
I had no idea it would blow into what it did. Yet he's saying
we're gonna make so much money on this.
This is house buying money. So I hope everybody listening does everybody a favor and don't engage with any of his stories of this stuff when he does try to come out and tell the real story.
Well, I'll go a step where he wants you to go. I'll forgive you, dude. I got no problem with that. But you should still be punished to the fullest extent while you're still here on earth, okay? Because you haven't gone to heaven yet, so I'm all about you going to jail. I'm all about you going to jail. I'm all about you paying the fines. I'm all about you doing everything. Because if you want to quote the Bible, why don't we go into all the people that were talking about Jesus who were persecuted for years and years as disciples, because you ain't one of them. All you're doing is trying to make a life off of something that you took from everyone else. The simple thing is you're just a thief. That's it. And the fact is that you're still trying to make money and make it work is just flat wrong. And until you see that, it'll never get better for you, dude. Never.
No.
So I think we've made our point.
Okay, well, let's just go to. Did they discuss what the punishment was?
Is there any way to get him to? My dog just ran into a wall. Has anybody ever gotten I'm sure they have. Has anybody ever had a license, hunting license removed permanently?
Oh yeah, I think it's happened.
I mean, I think that's a start. I don't think he should ever be allowed to hunt again or own any weapon. Nothing. Yeah.
Well,
so let's go over this now. Let's see if we feel as though this is a fair assessment of the punishment for what he's getting. So the antlers collected as evidence in the C.J. Alexander case, it was showing a photo. 4 counts of hunting without permission, 2 counts of illegally taking or possession of a deer, 1 count of selling illegally taken or possessed deer antlers, 1 count of hunting without a license, 1 count of hunting without a deer permit. So he didn't even have a license?
Evidently not.
So you go to poach a deer.
And then he goes publicly and it. Oh my gosh.
What?
How is he getting? I don't understand that. That's legit.
Maybe it was. I heard he poached, potentially, allegedly poached another one the year before, and maybe that's what that one's for. I'm not sure because
didn't make enough money.
Yeah, I guess. 1 count of hunting without a deer permit, 1 count of spotlighting, 1 count of tampering with evidence, 1 count of theft, 1 count of misdemeanor theft, 1 count of falsification. The Wilmington man is facing a maximum of thousands of dollars in fines, community control, 5-year hunting license suspension, and a restitution for both bucks. So he poached 2. The larger buck's antlers have 18 scoreable points, and the final restitution has been calculated at $35,071, said ODNR. The final restitution for the second buck with 8 scoreable points is $4,625. Alexander is expected to be sentenced on December 11th. So it sounds like he's going to
get off easy.
End up with about $40,000 in debt. But
nothing else.
He's illegally poaching a deer because he has no money already. So how is he going to pay this?
I don't know. But in the whole thing, like I said, you can't put a price on what he's done after the fact by telling the stories and all that. What he's done for the hunting community is absolutely absurd. I mean, because now when someone else posts a deer that they legally killed, everyone questions it. And that's where everyone was coming from when you started speaking against it so early, was that, it's not proven. At least I was saying, let's wait till we hear all the evidence and we'll go then once all the facts are in. Because it did sound hokey to me. I was like, there's no way that this dude pulled this off. You know, there's too many things. But my point is, I was trying to let everything happen until I made the statement, okay, yeah, for sure. But my point is that this guy he's an opportunist. That's all it is. He's looking for an opportunity to make a buck. A deer, not a deer, a dollar, you know. And now when it didn't work with what he was doing, now he's trying to take the fame that he got out of being just completely false and dishonest about everything he's done and still make it a win. And that's all he's doing. He's only so anyone that is writing this guy and telling him, "Oh, it's okay, we'll forgive you." I agree, I'll forgive you. But you're not going to get away with the fact that you did this.
Why forgive him?
Because
how do you get a slap on the wrist that you don't get a hunt for 5 years and then you can go right back to doing your BS? And he's probably going to keep doing it in the 5 years that he's.
I was going to say it doesn't matter whether he has a license or not. He didn't have one before.
What happens if he doesn't pay?
Nothing. I mean, they'll
community
that's not
service.
true.
I would guess what they'll do is they'll garnish his wages or whatever. When you do that, the state or the feds, whoever is prosecuting him, can make it where portion of his check has to go to pay it. But it could be $50 a check, you know, from his paycheck. They can do something like that to get their money. But that's all. But it's still just a restitution thing.
Well, let's just say he's making $40,000 a year.
Could take
doing
him
whatever he's doing.
25, 30
They're
years.
probably not going to be taking 50% of his
Correct. No, they're
wage.
not. They can't.
So you're still talking that it's hardly.
So what's going to stop the next person from thinking about doing it? Because we don't punish them correctly.
Well, what would be correct then? What do you think?
Jail time. Jail time would make someone if he knew that he could have gotten caught and that he could end up spending 5 years in jail. I think he would have thought twice, or maybe not that time. Maybe he's too gung-ho when he sees it for the first time, but he would now. He would think about it now if he was going to try to do it again.
How long do you think?
It depends
Not
on
that
the
we're the
consequences
judge,
of it. But, I mean, I guess it would depend. In this case, I think it should be the maximum that they could have given him, whatever it was, because he went to such a degree to try to fool everybody. He went far and beyond just shooting a deer. He disgraced the hunting community. He did nothing good for us in the eyes of anyone that's a non-hunter. This will come up in some place and they'll refer to him as, oh, remember when that hunter shot that deer and put it out there and he really shot it from a spotlight? And I'm talking about someone that's
somebody who doesn't understand.
They'll refer to him as a hunter that did that because he is going to blacken our eye, and that just royally pisses me off.
I think the thing that irritates me the most is that he stole the opportunity at a once-in-a-lifetime deer from law-abiding
people,
other hunters. That's
people
the part
that buy
that irritates
tags.
me
I
the
can't
most.
imagine what. Not that yes, it's just a deer, but it's also not. I mean, you have something like that show up in your farm. I don't care if you own it, have permission. Anybody that has a chance at that, whether you like to hunt big deer or not, is going to see that thing and be like, holy crap, and you're going to think it would be the coolest thing ever to go shoot one of those, something like that. And the guys that were hunting around there, that just, I do not know. I would be so
I feel
livid.
so bad for them.
I don't know how I'd handle that.
See, to me, it's not about the antlers. Honestly,
it's not about the antlers. It's about the fact that there is one time that will ever happen in your life like that. And for the guy that doesn't care about the antlers or not, will see that deer walk by them and think, holy crap, this is unreal. I don't care if you like the antlers or not. You're going to think it's cool. That. And then some dude strolls in and illegally shoots it, doesn't even give the animal a fair shot because he's spotlighting it, and everything else to pull it away just because you want to make a buck. So it is about the antlers. Whether it's about the meaning of the antlers, it's about the fact that it's a once-in-a-lifetime freaking animal that you're just strolling around and think you own the place and kill it, take it from other people. And
that brings up, there's one that is kind of funny to me, is there was a whole bunch of people when this was still up in the air saying, if this was a 150-inch deer, nobody would even talk about this or would care about this. Well, no. I still care about somebody poaching a 150-inch deer. But the difference is there's going to be multiple 150-inch deer in every state every year. There's not going to be another 239-inch deer. So, of course, it's going to bring attention. Like, how is that even an argument? That's the dumbest thing. That would be like saying that somebody stole $1 million and then being like, well, if it was $500, nobody would give it. Okay, well, one's $1 million in value and the other one's $500.
Yeah, the whole thing is a bunch of crap. And to be honest with you, the argument with that doesn't make any sense either.
No,
because
it hurts my head when I try to get grass.
I was just talking to a warden the other day that was talking about, well, we prosecute for forked horns. Yes. The difference is you don't have people calling you because some dude shot a forked horn on the neighbor's property. Like, nobody's reporting that. So how are they supposed to...
Right. Like, plus, probably most people aren't even shooting forked horns on the neighbor's property because they got one on their own.
Exactly.
I think the thing is, and I don't know how else to put it. As hunters, we try and do, most of us, if you're hunting ethically and doing everything you can to do things right, you still can make a mistake. You're going to walk out one day, you pick up your gun at the truck and you don't have your orange vest on yet and move it. Technically, you could be charged that you were hunting. My point is there's all these little technicality things, and it seems like that sometimes we see those stories come out, and man, they are hammered home. You know, we're after this guy because he did this. He had 2 tags in his pocket and he put the wrong one on there. And now I think Ted Nugent ran into something very similar to that several years ago where he got in quite a bit of trouble, and he honestly had done everything correct in Alaska. Don't quote me. I don't know exactly the specifics, but if I remember correctly, because Ted talked about it publicly, he hadn't really done anything wrong. But yet you get a situation where
like somebody who had the proper tag and everything.
And he had done something like a technicality incorrectly.
Had a bull moose tag and a cow moose tag, bought the bull moose tag and everything, but then accidentally put cut the cow moose tag.
Or put the wrong date. Cut the
Yes.
wrong. I mean, it was something very trivial, and then it's just freaking hammered. But here you have someone that's not only broken the law, they just keep on going and going, and that to me, the reason I said it doesn't matter about the antlers, Easton, is because not about the antlers and what you guys are talking about. That has an effect, but what he did after the fact is what really irritates me, because he went so far to just obliterate everything that ethical hunters are working on and that have tried to portray, and we're fighting so hard to just keep what we've got, to be able to hunt in the hours that we hunt and the days that we hunt and things like that. And then someone like him comes along and just can undermine all of it like that. And he kept on, and he's still, in my opinion, he's still doing it.
Yeah, well, and he's calling everybody stupid, thinking that anybody is going to then go and listen to his story after he bold-face lies the first time, now gets a case against him, and continues to go on a campaign trail of lying, and then gets convicted, and now is saying, hey, I'm going to tell you guys the real story. In my opinion, he's calling you stupid if he really thinks you're going to listen to anything he says.
All right. We done on that? I think we hammered it. I think he knows where we stand. I don't think we'll see him on our podcast.
You better hope not. I mean, we'll have some excellent social clips,
I hope
because
he
I am
hears it.
going to RKO
I hope he listens to it.
right
What are
off
you
this thing. I'm
I'm gonna do something.
diving
here.
off here.
What are you doing?
It's at 38 minutes. So for anybody, we'll record something in the beginning and say, for anybody that wants to hear our topic today, skip to 38 minutes.
Or, well, maybe that was the topic. Poaching.
Oh, no. I think we're going to talk about deer hunting.
That is kind of deer hunting.
No, deer hunting is not that.
I can't
That is
believe
not
that we
deer
went
hunting.
38 minutes on that.
I can between you two. Yeah. All right.
It's infuriating.
Okay.
I agree it's infuriating, but that stuff pisses me off because you can't.
Okay, I
you
thought we
can't
were
do anything
done.
about
Let's
it.
go on. So let's talk about something more fun, which is deer hunting. And, well, this one's kind of controversial as well.
What?
I'm just going to say I'm in the lead by quite a long ways.
How many are you at?
7.
Tortoise in the hare.
Tortoise in there. We'll see about that.
Well, how many, when are you going to start buck hunting?
I'm not telling you.
I'm waiting for the rut.
He is tonight,
Every
you
doe,
tard.
every girlfriend that comes flying in front of me, thunk,
I'm buck
smoking them.
hunting every day unless a doe walks by.
The way I see it,
He's buck hunting tonight.
yeah, that's exactly. The way I see it right now, I've got every day till December 4th.
So do I.
Is that
Shooting.
Don't you tell me it's
I'ma
December
start
4th? Is
stacking
that when
them
first
up.
season?
No, it goes all the way till January 10th.
No, I'm talking about
'Cause
when
it's the
first.
Whatever the
season.
shotgun
No,
season is.
when shotgun season starts. Is it December 4th this year?
I mean, usually it's like
tell me
between the
that.
3rd and the 5th.
All right.
Because if it's December 4th, that would be the most days in December for archery season that I've seen yet. And that
You're
means
gonna
that
get
there
it.
is a lot more opportunity for Easton to kill a deer in December again.
got 3
and
days?
I'm not in. No, I've only had 3 days before. Now I've had 4.
Yeah,
Well, I
I
guess
don't know why
3
you're
too.
even hunting yet. You might as well just
Wait till December
yeah
1st.
go and
Save
get
yourself
some
some time and
dinner
effort.
and sleep in and just chill because you got about a month. A little
All right.
more.
So, I guess me and you have probably been hunting more than Warren's been. So let's talk about where we're at, what we're seeing, how's it going.
White oaks, man.
White
I'm
oak-
running every white oak tree next year early, as fast as I can.
I can't believe that I never had explained that to you to the
I have
degree.
I have none
It's
of
like
what
a
I'm
huge
seeing
magnet.
is anything I didn't know. What I'm seeing though is our deer doing it.
Well-
I've never seen any of the deer around here get together like they are right now. Like it is unreal in that one spot. And I've hunted all kinds of different places with oak trees and everything.
But I think
And I'd never have seen that here.
But it's one of the reasons I think is because we have not had it's not a very good acorn crop this year, period. So what's going on is that tree is probably producing more than the other ones around it. And so therefore,
or I think it is a really good year.
no, it's not. I can tell you because typically when you walk down the driveway, you're crunching them. They're right there. They're right at the end of the driveway.
My truck keeps getting pelted every night.
Yeah, but those are red oaks.
Maybe it's
Alright,
just
well.
that one tree though that quit.
I don't know,
producing.
but I've sat that
I
stand
don't know.
twice, or not stand. We went and put our saddles up in it, but twice now, and had the first night was like 10 or 15, and then last night was 15 plus does under us. Now, the only irritating thing about it is that both times we've seen that many deer, and it's not like they're bedded right there, so they're coming in, and they all come in waves, and not a buck yet. But I know the bucks are there, considering I get them on camera around that. But
I feel like the corn is still, for whatever reason, it seems like farmers are taking their time this year.
I think it's because they're looking at the forecast and thinking, I agree. Well, the beans are almost gone. Like, I can't find – the only bean field I can find is right next door to us. He still leaves his bean, which I don't understand, because typically the farmer there is the first one to have all his stuff out, and he's still got beans and corn. But my point is that there's not a bean field hardly left. They've switched to corn, but I do think they're doing the same thing I am. They're looking at the 10-day forecast or the 14-day forecast. There ain't a day of rain in there. There isn't even going to be much dew because so therefore they can cut
whenever,
all day, any day. So they're just doing it at their leisure.
They don't need to rush.
Yep,
Yeah, I don't feel like I've seen near as much corn getting cut as usual. I feel like now we start to get to like where we're like maybe 50% out, and I haven't gone a lot of places, but I feel like it's like 25%.
Yeah, no, there's more of it coming out, and it's coming out fast. That's the thing. Once they get there, it'll start. And so a couple things that I think that these are lessons that we want to make sure we're getting across is if you live in a state where you have white oak acorn trees, man, they can be as good, if not better, than a cornfield or a bean field or anything on the right year. The other one that I can tell you, and there's probably other things in different parts of the country, but if you live in the South and you have persimmon trees, now when a persimmon tree ripens and the deer love them, it's only for like 3 days. It is like this little tiny window. But man, when they hit it, like you're talking 15 deer, that's what it'll be like for 3. They'll all go to that tree until every persimmon is gone, and then they just quit coming.
it's been like that in that spot for the past week and a half.
Yeah,
now.
but an acorn tree, a white oak, will produce a lot more food than persimmon trees are small, and so they don't produce as much.
I am ruined
Okay.
for this year.
Why?
I just got the text message, and then I looked it up to double check that it's December 7th.
Oh, you got
They
6 days.
They moved it back, like the whole season. To
I think they did that in 4 Easton.
No. No. But they did. They moved it back a week, so now it doesn't get over till the 22nd versus like the 16th, 17th.
Okay, so
Onwards, that's
let's
awful.
ask some
That is terrible
calculated questions because you guys, I think, are too close to your situations. So, first off, what are you seeing then for deer movement?
news. 0.
Nah. Last night you saw 15.
Yeah, that's the only place I've seen deer.
Okay, and where are you seeing them?
On the white oaks.
Oh, well, here's what I would say that if
Have you been sitting food plots, corn, beans?
I've sat food plots. The only other food plot I've seen deer in is beans.
Okay.
I'm going to say generalizing, I've seen more movement in the mornings than I have in the evenings until yesterday evening. That's been better. And me and Nick have been hunting a lot of bedding areas. And the other morning I texted Easton and told him, it was like 8:15 or 8 o'clock. And I said, it's going to be, I feel like, because this cold front got here, and I feel like what happens a lot of times, I don't know if that my theory is right, but it was right that morning when I said it, was that in another 30 minutes, if I'm correct, we're going to see a lot of deer. And that's because I believe the cool temperatures that are here, they've gone to wherever they're feeding, and they're just hanging out now because they don't have to get back. It's not 95 degrees. It's not 90 or 80. It was really cool, like 30.
You're also sitting in agricultural fields.
Not where I was sitting that morning.
You're right next to all of them, except for the one. Like, whether that's a bedding area or not, you're within 100 yards.
No, where I'm not within 400 yards of the closest feeding area where I was sitting the other morning when I texted you that.
One morning. The rest, all your deer, you have seen near agricultural fields.
Well, I feel like everything we hunt pretty much is close to an agricultural field.
Not really,
To
considering the
some
fact that I'm
extent.
not near any of them.
Okay, I don't understand.
You're not hunting the bedding areas is my point. Yes, they were coming to bed, but you are also hunting right next to all of their food sources.
Where? When?
This is the first time he sat away from it. And then where your is all agricultural.
100%.
I didn't think you needed to name all the names.
Well, you were
could-
asking, so-
because you could kind of describe the spot.
It's been all of them.
Yesterday, were you guys down?
Yesterday
there at
we were
that?
sitting on
And
food 100%.
but
But-
I would say that
Yes,
It's kind of a hybrid because
Yeah.
it is bedding.
It's the
right
bedding
there.
area.
But
Yes, and the
but it
feed-
is the feed is right there.
Exactly.
But when
My
I was
point.
hunting north the other day, you're not within 400 yards of any feed. And at 8:30 in the morning, we went from not seeing a deer to we couldn't count how many deer we saw.
I would agree with that one. That one is, in my opinion, that's why I didn't sit there when Hannah and I went the other day. We didn't sit there because I was like, there's really not any food
Close by.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I don't really know where they'd be going. I guess if they're just there, they're browsing on acorns or whatever.
They're going
but
across that road.
Yeah,
They cut through the CRP across the road. I've now figured out that
for a morning, I think that could be a good spot. Yeah.
yeah. Well, evenings are good if you get in there early and you don't bump them because
Okay, so now you guys have really confused me. So let's clear this up. Food sources: are you seeing deer or not? And if so, which
You better
ones?
be near your big agricultural fields.
And when I say food sources, I'm talking our planted foods: corn, beans, food plots. Are you guys seeing alfalfa? Are you sitting on those? And if so, are you seeing many deer?
Clover is not being touched.
Clover's not being touched.
Not even a hair.
I haven't seen
That's odd.
clover that
Okay.
I can think of. So
Beans
so
are
he would be
getting
the
hit.
only comment on that. Right now, I think corn is above all of them.
Have you been sitting corn?
Well, close to. And I
Okay.
feel like the deer are coming from those
Cut or
cornfields.
standing? Okay. Buck sightings. Are either of you seeing many bucks
No, I've seen one all year.
at all?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I've seen probably 20 now or something like that. And
20 bucks?
Yeah, but they've all been. Biggest buck was Eli and I saw a really good buck right at dark the other night.
Yep.
That would, when I say really good, I think he's a 3-year-old, 140 to 150 inch kind of deer. Other than that, 125, 130 inch kind of deer has been the norm, or smaller.
Okay.
Lots of for like last night, I think we saw 7 or 8 bucks, but the biggest was like 135, 140.
So no mature buck settings.
The only buck I have seen is mature.
Yeah, that's true.
Mr. Liss.
Yep.
It's the only buck I've seen.
See, and
That's
then
the only buck you've seen all year?
I think the only other one I could even think of would be maybe a forked horn that I saw. I don't even remember where.
Nick and I saw a really
Other
good
than that's
buck
been a
one morning.
does. Everything is a doe and a fawn.
You are going to December.
So but Nick and I saw a really good buck the other morning. And again, we're off 100, 150 yards off of standing corn.
Not a mature deer, though.
Oh, no, he was mature, 100%. I don't know who he was. That's the deer.
Right where you and Hannah sat.
Oh, yeah, but you couldn't identify
couldn't
him.
identify him,
Yeah.
but it was a fully mature deer. Big
He was
Yeah,
a mature deer,
putting that
too?
out there now, maybe now you understand what I'm referring to.
As far as what?
That I've literally seen nothing.
Well, you're seeing deer, but
Yeah.
you're also in a place where you're looking for a particular deer.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that gives us a status on movement, especially with bucks, is still for
Sporadic.
us very slow. Even after any noticeable change once the weather's cooled down.
I've
And
seen
movement.
less.
I have a theory on that too, because I feel like when the fronts get here, a lot of times, as much as I love them and I think they're going to be just off the chart,
It's
I
been
think-
here for a few days.
yeah,
though.
and as it's stayed here, the movement, in my opinion, has got better. But right initially when it comes in, sometimes it just like throws them out of whack. And I think that's something that Mark Drury talked about the other day. He was talking about the number of degrees away from the norm, not meaning what's the normal temperature, but what's going on, what's been going
During
on.
that time.
Yes. And I think that's what we found was we deviated so far from it that it shocks their system a little bit and it slows them down.
See, I haven't seen a deer during the cold front until last night. Not one. Sunday was the last time I saw a deer, and that was Mr. Liss. That's when it was
I thought you
starting
saw
to roll
15 yesterday.
I just said last night.
Oh, okay.
That's a 4-day gap or 3-day gap in this heart of the.
Your information is skewed though because you're in a very small space.
There's deer in it.
There is deer in it, but you're in a bubble because you're only chasing the one deer. So you're
No, when there is 100 other deer there.
yeah, but all your terrain is the same, all of your bedding is the same, all your agriculture is the same. You're in the same spot,
All right.
so yours is a little skewed.
The other thing that you have going against you is that you do have standing corn within a quarter of a mile. And I do think that's where a lot of the deer that you normally would see will be coming from. They'll get pushed out of there once that's gone. We have a couple other farms that we hunt that are the same way. That once that corn is gone, it will help tremendously.
What about cameras?
See, my cameras are about on norm. About one rub tree is all that we've had that was really slow. All our rub trees are on fire. I mean, they've been doing really well, except for one. And then Easton and we had a buck hit it, and this is a little tip for people. Yeah, two things. One, we make mistakes. Two, the mistake that we made is you can over scent something. Easton and I didn't realize that we were checking the camera after each other until after the fact. So Easton goes and puts scent on the tree, and then I came by 2 or 3 hours later, changed the card, put scent on the tree. Couldn't figure out why I didn't have any pictures, and because he had just changed, and we did it twice. And
what
so
I'm trying to figure out is how you didn't see any of the scent on it.
Which really means I got a quadruple dosage. Oh, no. He gives a triple dose.
Yeah. So that tree was like saturated. And so I think we might have spooked the deer thinking that, oh my gosh, either there's a whole bunch of deer that we don't know or this is one giant deer.
Buckzilla.
But after we figured out what we had done, we left it alone for a few days and we had some bucks start hitting the tree. So the report would be, 1, don't overscent your trees. Number 2, Scotch pines seem to be a little slower, but they do seem to start producing like the white pines once the deer feel like it's comfortable to do it. White pine still, in my opinion, rules.
Agreed.
That would be what I would tell you there. And then as far as like where I'm at right now, like tonight, I'll probably be setting on a scrape because I do think we're seeing some of our more mature bucks, even if it's nighttime movement, we're seeing them start to direct themselves to those scrapes. They're starting to make a point to go there and be there.
More bucks on camera in general, or is about the same?
I feel
mine have been about the same.
I feel like mine's slightly increased.
What about new bucks? I'd say mine are.
Oh, definitely more new bucks in the last week.
My cameras have probably not done anything hardly, but the one thing they have done is new deer. Pretty big deer.
Yeah,
have shown up.
Mine have been pretty dry.
But it's been very few. But
mine have been pretty much same bucks.
But you haven't redone anything to your rub trees that you put in at that farm.
No, but they're hitting it still.
Well, as long as
you don't need to do anything.
It's just,
once they start hitting it. But I thought you said the one tree, no one's touching it, not even walking by.
There was a fork and horn hit it yesterday.
Oh, well then now it's on fire.
But the other one, they've been hitting it and they're still hitting it, but it's just the same bucks hitting it over and over and over.
Gotcha. Whenever new deer come in, they'll start hammering it.
Yeah, that'll
be their first place to go.
Well, the other place though that we put it has just been weird as far as there's like
no deer there.
Yeah, no deer over there this year.
Yeah.
So
shut up, Nick.
I don't know what's going on there. But I would think that now we're starting to get into where things start getting serious, and especially when they get the corn out, I think you'll see a whole bunch of new bucks show up.
No, and don't get me wrong. I mean, this might be, at least for me, I can't speak for Easton, but this has been one of the funnest hunting seasons I've had, like up until the 17th of October so far, just because everywhere I don't know if we've just been lucky and we've picked the right spots, but I've only had one sit where we got skunked. And that was kind of, I expected that. I knew that my chances were either to see the right deer or not a deer type thing. But we've just been doing really, really well. And I feel like the season is setting up to be a good season. I mean, we've got some good deer on video or on trail cameras that we know that exist there. And we got some aged bucks and things like that, and we don't have the corn out yet, so we know we haven't even seen them all, and then also we, just like many of you, we'll have a new deer show up. I mean, we'll be talking to you guys in November, and someone will show up we weren't expecting, or someone will show up that we were expecting, but we were expecting them to see a month ago. Yep. So it's been a lot of fun, and maybe one of the greatest things too is the fact that we've got so many people now that have purchased our scents and our Nocks, scents mainly, that we're getting their stories, of success. Like, got this buck. I mean, now I'm so living through their scrapes are lighting up now, and they're like, oh, this buck had been gone for several weeks and now he's back and hit your scrape or hit a scrape I made with your scents, And then the one that I keep getting is bears seem to really like your buck junkie, because we have bears that hit that buck junkie like no other.
If you're on Facebook, make sure you join the race hunting discussion group. Lots of good stuff in there on the scents and everything.
Yep.
Okay, should we wrap it up or should we hit on calling real fast?
You need to wrap it up because I got to stroll him into where he's sitting tonight.
I think you do need to wrap it up, but you might want to touch on it real fast just because for another week.
Time's
I
sake,
think
I
this
guess.
is people should probably start.
Well,
At
so
least making
yesterday
sure
I had
that
two
stuff.
different people that one texted me, one messaged in, and then there was another question I think on came in through our website. People asking, "Are you calling yet?" And the answer is yes. I've been calling since day one. I don't just sit up there and rattle. And that was the question: was how long are you rattling for?
What have you been calling on in the first week?
If I get bored
He's
and
doing a
oh yeah,
can.
I got
Rear
my
end.
can call, and I've been throwing the can at the does.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, Nick's heard me, but we rattled the other night, and those two little bucks showed up a little while later. So I mean, it just, we haven't had someone, and
So
I don't.
you got to have your antlers with you.
Got to
right
have antlers. The main reason that you want the antlers at this time of year is you have a buck that goes by you, a target buck or a buck that you want to shoot. You have nothing to lose. If he is upwind, he's not going to get downwind to you. You feel like you have a good chance. Throw something at him and possibly get him to come over, because I can tell you this, we're seeing bucks. The little buck the other day that came out, I mean, we had two little ones that came over and chased some does around, and he's got his ears pinned back because there was a spike there. He's walking at him, all stiff-legged and everything. So they're actively pushing each other. I filmed two bucks the other day just off the road that were 120, 125-inch kind of deer. They were pushing at each other. They're not
So
going
you're
crazy.
not going to go nuts. You're
Nope.
just going to tickle them. Just going to tickle the tines a little bit.
Yep. But when I do it, I'm doing it for a long time. Like
Long time tickle.
yeah,
Okay.
minute or two.
Tickle them tines for a long
You guys, he can
time.
make smart ass comments and they can snicker and all that, but Easton was making fun one day and got it freaking pounded into him that maybe I kind of know what I'm doing when I'm calling because he showed up.
No, he didn't show up. I saw him.
Well, he showed up coming to what you were doing.
I saw him and then made a joke about it, and it worked.
Yeah. So
Our snickering is, we don't even have anything on some of our listeners, though. Like the dude who has the deer named Girth Brooks. That is the best deer name
you better. I mean, you
I've
can't.
ever heard my
I know, but you
entire
can't
life.
throw out just the little we did on. What about grunt calls? What about snort wheeze? Are you going to use them right now or not? Yeah, I feel like
I'd
you
use
guys.
a grunt call at a deer if I saw him. Well, I'm being legit.
I
What do you
know.
want? What are you shaking your head at?
I just don't understand that if we're trying to help people, that we're not doing a better job of trying to truly help them. And
I've just answered you. Yes, I
Yes.
would use a grunt call if I can
snort
see the
wheeze
deer
right now? No. Yes.
Yeah, maybe if he looks pissed off enough. But that's what I'm looking for, is if he's got a little bit of antsy or fired up, more so than just walking around. I'm not just going to snort wheeze at him if he's just strolling by eating some acorns.
Are you blind calling at all?
I've rattled twice. Very
If I'm in an area,
That's about it. I really have no reason to blind call, considering the fact that the chances of me calling in the one deer that I'm trying to find is pretty slim. So I've pretty much done it once or twice just to give myself something to do, because I'm so bored seeing literally nothing.
So I would say it's kind of the same. I mean, I don't do a lot of blind calling. I do it once in a while, and if I typically do it in a sit, a lot of times I think it's one time. I'll just see if there's someone out there. I don't feel like, as long as I feel like there's not deer close by that it can hurt me. Last thing I want is a deer sneaking around downwind, gets wind of us, and then starts blowing at us and kind of blows the whole thing.
yeah. If I'm in an area where if I'm hunting a specific buck, one buck in particular, I'm probably not going to blind rattle at all. If I'm hunting somewhere where I'm willing to shoot a few deer, I would definitely be doing some soft rattling right now. And then if I saw the deer I was trying to kill, I might give him a grunt. I would probably grunt at him like once and just take his temperature.
Yeah, see what's his demeanor look like before I did anything.
Yeah, and I'd be real careful about that right this second, especially if I'm hunting a specific deer.
That's what I did.
The other
I
night,
don't think you could ever hear it.
A deer like that, I would have no problem grunting at.
That's kind of the reason
Just
I did
'cause
it.
I think that deer has a demeanor of he'll fight anybody.
right?
But snort wheeze, I definitely wouldn't be snort wheezing at a deer right now unless he was like bristling up and acting like he was going to battle. That would be kind of a last case resort to me.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're typically hunting mature deer, meaning 5-year-old or older, and we know that those deer are smart enough. They know you may see fights going on right now, and they're not serious fights, and those dudes seem to know it ain't time to really fight yet. There's nothing to fight over. And you don't see many mature deer doing the pushing thing, but I do see them sometimes. They'll come see what's going on, but
Pushing as in early.
yeah, like you'll see these forked horns, and you'll see 120-inch deer they're just like tickling their horns together. You don't. I've never personally think I've ever seen like a 5-year-old deer doing that.
I could show you video of one doing it, but not because he wanted to.
Someone else
But
started
because
it with
little
him,
freaking forked horn walked up to him, and he didn't really give him a choice. He looked at him like,
and then
"What are you
poked
doing?"
him.
And then the forked horn was like, just kept like nudging at him, and finally he put his head down and like pushed him back a little bit. And the forked horn was like, "Okay," and walked away.
Well, one of the most severe fights, if not the most severe fight that we've ever filmed, wasn't that on like October 5th or 7th?
Oh.
Was it 17th? I thought it was earlier
I
than
thought it
that.
was middle of the teens, like 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there.
No, I want to say it was single digits.
Talking about that one antlered buck?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they went at it for
nuts.
35,
I don't think
40
it was
minutes.
quite that early.
I just know it was
Maybe
way.
it was early, especially
Yeah.
for that magnitude of a fight.
Yes.
But I can't remember if it was the 15th or if it was the 5th. I don't remember.
But they went ham. I mean, that was a full-on fight. There was no joking around there. There wasn't a pushing skirmish.
I wonder if that was them determining which one's going to be staying and which one's not.
I don't know.
That'd be kind of interesting.
But that one
to pay
antlered
attention
buck,
to, if you could be a part of watching that one fight. I wonder if that does happen, like early before the year. Like there's one or two big brawls, like two bucks trying to.
I think a lot of
stay
it
in a spot.
is like a flexing contest.
I would think so too, but man, they seemed really, really mad at
those-
each other
those
for
did.
a purpose.
For real.
And one of them ended up a mile away, so
He must have lost.
well, he went running him that far and did not stop running him.
Right.
I wonder if that's a theory.
All right. Well, hopefully we helped them. Have you found your wacky fact for the day, Warren?
We'll
think I'll
do
be
more
close.
in-depth calling and situations and stuff, but next
All right.
time. All right.
I don't-
Awkward silence. I guess he hasn't found what he's looking for.
Well, this one's from a viewer, but I don't know the legitimacy of
Oh,
it.
Lordy. Here we go.
Antelopes escape 80% of attacks by farting on the predators.
That would be in that. I ain't
Also, it's not
The-
antelopes. It's antelope.
That's how they spelled it. It was antelopes.
Sorry, listener. You got the first podcast listener X.
Yeah, they're gonna quit
deserve it.
listening now.
Sorry, man.
They shouldn't. Wow, these people can't spell at all. Nick, are you working for them? Where's yours, Dad?
What?
Your
Wacky
wacky
fact.
fact.
I didn't know I needed to come up with one today, or I would have already been on it.
Las Vegas spent $5 billion on mirrors that collect sunlight, and they only generate $30 million a year. That was a Kamala decision.
What?
Las Vegas spent $5 billion on mirrors that collect sunlight, and
For
yet
what
they
purpose?
only, it looks like solar. The
Oh.
Ivanpah solar power facility costs around $2.2 billion with a $1.6 billion loan from the U.S. government. And backing from companies like Google, its high cost is due to the complex concentration solar power technology. Wow, that sounds efficient.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that one too.
Okay, mine's more of a question.
Oh boy.
We'll see if you know what this is, Warren. I mean,
Is that assuming I will know what it is?
no, but I want to try to pronounce it right.
He's obviously knows you're going to know because I'm smarter than you.
Allodaxophobia. Do you know what allodaxophobia is?
Is it
Don't
a
say.
a fear of words,
No.
No.
of spelling?
No.
Grammar.
Hold on.
Oh, this is a green button.
I think I've said this one.
No, you have
Is it
not.
a fear of farting or of flatulence?
No. You ready, Easton?
I guess.
Allodaxophobia is
Something to do with the body.
is an uncommon phobia that causes people to avoid situations where they might be exposed to different opinions. It is the fear of opinions. Allodaxophobia is the fear of opinions.
Thank you.
That was stupid.
How is that one?
It's freaking 100% real.
I know, but that
Yeah,
was
we
dumb.
all know. There's about 46% of this nation
Is
that
it-
is that.
Well, they're all suffering
They're
from
called liberals.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, that was bad. You definitely aired that one up way more
No,
than what it was
it's
going to
good.
be. All right.
I think I've peaked at koala poops.
You most definitely peaked. 'cause
And dinosaur
this
turds.
segment has been so blah lately.
They're very difficult to find.
I can
you
imagine.
should try
so.
yourself.
Yeah, but you should try to do it before the 5 minutes.
I
you
do
have
sometimes,
on
too.
the podcast. That might help.
People
Tonight
well,
at the
like,
stand, I
hey,
will get
how
mine
about this?
situated.
Warren is going to try to do a little better at Wacky Facts, but in the meantime, if you guys have recommendations on a new segment that would be fun, let us know.
maybe it needs to be interesting things or something.
I think we need to give you a topic or like a category so you can dive into it better as opposed to just the whole world of Wacky Facts.
Well, the turds ones was extremely successful.
It was
genre
awesome.
there for a while.
that was awesome.
But
turd
that's the
cake.
problem is it's like there's
All right.
not that many wacky information.
While they
that
continue to talk,
compile.
I'm going to check us out of here because we're going to go get back in a tree. So from the Raised Hunting crew, we appreciate you guys. I will one more time direct you to our Raised Sense, Raised Canine, or Raised Nocks. You can find them all at Raised Hunting on the website, or check out our YouTube page, social media pages, or our website. If you just want to see some of the videos that teach you, we've done tons of videos, and that is the question. We're getting lots of people asking specific questions about hunting right now, and I'm kind of directing everyone, go to the YouTube page, go to the website, because we've built a lot of videos on like the scents and when we're using them, why we're using them, answer most of it there. So from the Raised Hunting crew, I'm David. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next week.